Welcome back. My name is Dak. Learn chess with me. Today in this video we are on lichess.org and we are under checkmates and we're going to practice checkmate patterns 4. There's 15 of them and we got to recognize the patterns. Alright. Checkmate the opponent in one move. The suffocation mate works by using the knight to attack the enemy king and the bishop to confine the king's escape routes. Okay, so this should be simple enough. We got the bishop right here challenging all of these spaces, and we have a knight that we want to obviously put pressure on the king here. So we have two options, 1, 2. If we were to go here though, unfortunately we would be blocking the bishop and the king would be safe to move around. So I believe the answer is here. Great, success. Checkmate the opponent in 4 moves. Alright, from a game from 1885. Okay, so let's see, let's take a look at the map. We got white, we've got pawns here, 2 rooks, a bishop, and a knight. Alright, so we're taking here, and we're taking here. 4 moves. My first thought, and okay, we also got here and here. My first thought is to bring the bishop this direction, putting a check. Now, the king will only have one spot to go, which is right there. Is there any other way to block it? I don't think so. Let's go there. That is correct. Now, 3 moves. The next thought I have, let's see, suffocating one. We can go here to put another check on. The queen will have to come over and kill the knight because there's no other way to block it. The rook could come take, but we're not putting pressure on that way. Come take the queen. Okay, let's see. The rook could come down here and put check. This rook would take it. We would just lose a rook. So I'm not seeing anything there. It's on white. So, okay, let's see. Where else could the... So the knight can go there, there. Okay, not seeing a place to put on check. There. I think right now the thing that sounds to me is this. I think that's what I should do. Queen comes and takes. Let's see if they like that. They do not like it. Alright. Let's see. So we move the bishop here, check. Moves over. They did not like here. You can always bring a rook up and over. You will lose a knight doing it probably. So let's go here. Yep, they like that. Okay, now they're blocking with the queen. I think they know they have to do that because if you come over here, they can take it because otherwise it's checkmate. There's no other way to block it. So yeah, let's do that. Check, they take, and then do this. Checkmate. There we go. Alright. Checkmate the opponent in 1 move. Greco's mate is named for the famous Italian checkmate cataloger Gioacchino Greco. It works by using the bishop to contain the black king by using one of the black g-pawn and subsequently using the queen or a rook to checkmate the king by moving it to the edge of the board. Alright. So from here, we have this space taken away. This space is taken away. So the idea is to move the queen in a position. I could move here, but it doesn't do anything. That spot will be opened up. If I take, king could take. If I come here, king could take again. If I move here, pawn could take. So instead, I'm going to move here. There it is, checkmate. Checkmate the opponent in 2 moves. This is from a game from 1920. Alright, so... Alright, the bishop's taking here. What makes sense to me off the bat is I take the knight, I move it here, put the king in check. The only way to get out, because the king can't move, is for this pawn to take. When this pawn takes, you can move the rook over, and that's checkmate. Let's try that. Yep. There it is. Checkmate the opponent in 4 moves from a game from 1899. Okay, let's take a look. What do we got? Okay, we have a discover check. So right now we have a bishop looking on here. So, what can you do? This is fun. All right, then you gotta, if you move the knight out of the way, you can go here, 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 and here. Obviously, this direction as well. My first thought is let's move the knight there. That's a double check. So even if the bishop or the queen takes your knight, you would be putting the check, so your rook, so that is fine. So let's try that. Oh, that's what they wanted. Okay. Now, let's see. I can take here to open up this rook. I can move him over, and then same thing, puts in check and has to be taken. So let's try that. Let's move here. Yep, take, check, discovered. And now the queen is blocking the only way. Sacrificing the queen is safe, but checkmate. Got it. Checkmate the opponent in 1 move. Max Lang's mate is named after German chess player and problem solver Max Lang. It works by using the bishop and queen in combination to checkmate the king. Okay, so in this position, you got the bishop blocking these ways, and then you're going to move the queen over here onto this G8 spot, and you're going to be checking and blocking here at the same time, and the king cannot take because your bishop is protecting it. There it is. Ooh, checkmate the opponent in 5 moves. 5 moves. All right, and so we need to use our bishop and our queen together, so I can't just sacrifice. We've got to try and find it in 5 moves. 5 moves, okay. We've also got our rook back here that if we move our king out of the way might do some damage. All right, so a couple of ideas come to mind first. So this bishop is attacking along here. Queen could go there, putting pressure, pushing the king out, and then could come down here. All right. Additionally, the queen could come here, check. This queen would move over. Okay. We also have this putting pressure that way. Okay, so we could take here or here. Those are the 3 that I see immediately. I kind of like this way. They don't like it though. Let's try this again. Let's go this way. All right, they liked that one. So now, 4 moves. I see queen is now blocking, offering a queen trade. This row is still taken here. If I move the queen the way I wanted to before, king has to come there. That's 2. Come here, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Let's see. There. Yep. Now it's moved down. I think take this pawn and take this square. Nope, not what they wanted. Okay, try this again. 1, 2. Okay. Now from here. I mean it's 3 moves, but I could come here, be protected by the bishop, putting pressure. King will pop out though. Let's try it, see what that looks like. Nope, they didn't like that either. Alright, come 1, come 2. I could come with the bishop here, putting check, being protected. What would happen at that point? Then the king would have to come here, which could be a discovered check. Let's try that. Yep, okay. Now from here, I come here, maybe? I've got 2 moves. It's a discover check there. He moves down. and then you do it. Okay, let's try that. Discover check, move the queen over, checkmate. There it is. Checkmate the opponent in one move. Blackburn's mate is named for Joseph Henry Blackburn. This checkmate utilizes an enemy rook or bishop or queen to confine the black's escape to the f8 square. One of the bishops confines the black king's movement by operating at a distance, while the knight and the other bishop operate within close range. Okay, so this is checkmate in one move. So from here, it's not the... So this guy is taking these spots away. This one is taking all these spots away. The rook is preventing the king from moving that direction. So if this bishop comes and takes this pawn, that's checkmate. Got it. Retty's mate is named after Richard Retty, who delivered it in an 11-move game against Savly Tarkowicz in 1910 in Vienna. It works by trapping the enemy king with 4 of its own pieces that are situated on flight squares, and then attacking it with a bishop that is protected by a rook or a queen. Okay, so there's in this position, alright, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are blocking the escape routes. This rook is taking all these 3 spots away, so the only spot left is open is there. So the idea is if you bring your bishop to this spot right here, king can't do anything, can't block it, can't do anything, so I'm pretty sure that's the move. Yep, so if the king were to, yep, got it. In Legau's mate, the knight moves into a position to check the king. The bishop is guarded by the other knight, and the enemy pieces block the king's escape. Alright, so in this position, this knight is protecting this bishop. This bishop is taking these spots away. This knight is also taking this spot away. So if you take this knight and you move here, you'll be putting a check on the king and preventing this spot, which should do all of it. There it is. Checkmate the opponent in one move. The kill box mate occurs when a rook is next to the enemy king and supported by a queen that also blocks the king's escape squares. The rook and the queen catch the enemy king in a 3x3 kill box. Ooh, interesting. Checkmate in one. Okay, so right now these spots being taken away. If you move the queen, the escape route comes here. But if you move the rook here, the rook will be protected, the rook will block this square, and the queen will block these 3, and the rook puts it there. So 3x3 kill box. Triangle mate. The triangle mate is delivered by a queen attacking an enemy king while it is supported by a rook. The queen and the rook are 1 square away from the enemy king. They are on the same rank or file, separated by 1 square, with the enemy king being between them 1 square away, forming a triangle. The king must be restricted from escaping to the middle square behind it, away from the queen and rook, by the edge of the board, a piece blocking it, or by controlling that square with a 3rd piece. Alright, so right now, these squares are being taken away by the rook, these squares being taken away here. So I think the triangle is if you move the queen here, putting pressure on it, and taking away all of these places, and then this one is being blocked. There it is. In the Vukovic mate, a rook and a knight team up to mate the king on the edge of the board. The rook delivers mate while supported by a 3rd piece, and the knight is used to block the king's escape routes. Okay, so in this circumstances, we got a knight here that is taking these 2 escape routes. We also have this guy right here going this direction. So the bishop will support our rook if we move it here. The rook will take these spots away, the knight will take these spots away, and that'll be checkmate. There it is. Checkmate the opponent in 3 moves from an 1851 game. Okay, so let's see. There. All right, so our king will be able to protect. So if I move the knight in this direction, putting a check, what would happen? The king could move that way, or the king could move that way. Okay. If the king moved this way, that would be great. You could come here, check. Or you could come here, check first. King can move there or there. Come here with the knight. Okay, let's see positions. You can go there, there, there. This one also puts him in check. King could go that way, king could go this way. Three moves though, 3 moves. Come here, check. Nope, not the right move. Not the right move. What is this pawn doing here? Why is there an extra pawn? Let's see. Nope, didn't like that. Move the king over. Nope, didn't like that. Nope. Nope. Okay. They like that one moving there. I can come here, check again. Perfect. And there. There it is. Checkmate the opponent in 2 moves from a game from 2001. Alright, we are white. There, puts check. King has to go there, rook there, and then this knight is blocking those ways. Check. There it is. Alright, so those were all the different mates that we learned. Success. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Feel free to share some of your chess thoughts, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.